Right now, hundreds of Ukrainian refugees are waiting to enter the U.S., and more are coming each and every day. Most are hoping to reunite with family in the United States. While the number of Ukrainian refugees is low compared to other nations, it comes as the U.S. tries to ramp up processing for all immigrants and those trying to cross into the United States from Mexico. Nancy Liu is live at the U.S. Mexico border in San Diego. You visited a nearby camp. You actually had the chance to speak to some Ukrainians who are just waiting to cross over. Tell us what you know, Nancy. This is amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing, incredible. So many words to describe what's happening here. This is the welcome tent in San Ysidro. This is the first thing Ukrainians see when they clear U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. It's part of an incredible, extensive support network set up by a new army of volunteers, many of them Ukrainian Americans from all across America. The call to cross into the U.S. happens multiple times a day at this Ukrainian holding camp just south of the border. It's part of a new semi-official system set up by various churches and humanitarian groups to help refugees funnel through faster.
Basically, we just got all together, started working on a process and created the system just to help ourselves and help the Mexican and American, I guess, system to help them cross the people.
None of this was here. Seriously, I came on Tuesday. There was like maybe 50, 70 people in this building. There was nothing. It grew like exponentially, like 10 times from what it was.
Ukrainians young and old are now added to a computerized list as soon as they get to Tijuana, which saw less than 1,000 arrivals last week. This week, there are 2,500 and counting. Most have endured dangerous and arduous journeys.
It is hard because I lived in the capital of Ukraine, and it is my native time. I'm born in this city, and
now you're living here.
But my people from my country is around me.
Only 150 or so are getting processed daily due to limited Customs and Border Patrol staffing, but that is improving too.
The CBP department, they are really doing their job. I mean, they are increasing the attention that they are giving to people, to Ukrainian people. So I think it's going to be more faster.
With hundreds more arriving every day now, this Tijuana basketball gym has been converted into an emergency shelter. The Benito Juarez Sports Complex is one of several Tijuana facilities providing emergency shelter for more than 1,500 asylum seekers. With a lot more coming, activists plan to open additional shelters.
As long as the U.S. government will wait to make some decisions, we will find a way to feed people and make them safe. This is not an American dream. This is the running from war.
Now, from here, a lot of refugees are met by relatives or friends, and then they are fanning out across America, though many are being taken in by church groups. Here in California, people are opening up their homes to refugee families. The humanitarian parole that is being granted will allow Ukrainian refugees to stay in the U.S. for up to a year. Adrienne?
All right. Thank you so much, Nancy. I had to ask a question for you. You're on the opposite side of the border in Tijuana on Tuesday. Can you tell us a little bit about what you saw?
Yeah, Adrienne, we actually spent a couple days over in Tijuana at the camp. It was just incredible to see the human spirit and to see humanity, helping humanity. The Ukrainian Americans who have galvanized and created this numbering system to help Ukrainian refugees get through the border and into the U.S. is just impressive. Once they arrive in Tijuana, refugees are assigned a number. That numbering system is still there. Going down the list last night, we were up to like 1,473 or so. People continue to file through here overnight, but the situation in the camps just really incredible. People are donating items. There are blankets and toys, and 40% of the people in the camp are kids. And it's hard to not notice how oblivious they are, and they're just having fun and playing and really not knowing what's happening.
Nancy, I have to ask an obvious, perhaps obvious question. Why? Have you asked any of the refugees that you've talked to, why are they traveling through Mexico instead of coming directly into the United States?
It's basically like, you know, hey, the first group came through and said, hey, we got in through Mexico. And then the word spread throughout the Ukrainian community. They use a Telegram channel, and there people are discussing logistics and this incredible support network that is now in place. So the channel is now set through Tijuana, and they know that there is housing, there are Ukrainians here to help them. So basically the channel has been set up, and they know that this is a sure way, not a sure way, but a pretty clear way in to the U.S., and that it is working with humanitarian parole.
All right, Nancy Liu, thank you for being there for us this morning. Wow. Quite a story that we'll continue following closely. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.